the shepherd will die for the sheep. Jesus says in verse 11, if you're following along, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. Now, because we're on this side of the cross, we just come through Easter, just come through Resurrection Sunday and Passover and all that kind of stuff. We listen to these words and we don't think they're strange. But they may be some of the strangest statements that Jesus makes. And why is this statement so strange? Well, because I've looked through the entire Old Testament, at least I've tried to, and there is not one account of a shepherd actually laying down his life for a sheep. In other words, if I'm assuming that laying down his life is dying, there's not one account in the Old Testament where a shepherd actually dies for the sheep. Now, hold on, don't throw stones just yet. We know that a good shepherd will, like David, will defend the sheep. And if you want a reference for that, see 1 Samuel chapter 17. He talks when he's going up against Goliath. He says, listen, a lion and a bear came and I defended the sheep, but he didn't die for the sheep. He defended them. We know that a good shepherd will walk with us through our valleys of what looks like death, shadows of death, and they will sit with us while we're in the presence of our enemies. If you need a reference, see Psalm 23, right? Yeah. But there is no, and I've looked, and if someone has one, let me know, but there is no Old Testament record for dying for the sheep. Why? Because this is my mind thinking, because they're sheep. They're sheep. They're animals that you buy, you sell, you shear, you sell the wood, you trade, and if they're with you long enough, you watch them die. And guess what? You start the process all over again. You buy them, you sell them, you trade them, you shear them, and you watch them die. And I know that out of all the imagery, there's a lot of care, there's a lot of love that is involved in taking care of them. But by the end of the day, they are stinking, dumb sheep who, if they're not led, will literally eat themselves off of a cliff. This is why they need a shepherd. It's because they're so dumb they will eat themselves off of a cliff. I don't know if my wife is watching or not, but I have a dog and a cat, and I've put a lot of love and care into those animals. I was cleaning the cat box out the other day and thought to myself, what is wrong with this picture? She's sitting over there, just as you please. I mean, she's just sitting over there. And I'm cleaning out the cat box, going, why aren't you doing this? And she just, meow. Right? I mean, she doesn't care. You can clean it out 50,000 times and she doesn't care. And I love them, and I guess I'll probably too, or either make my wife do it, clean out the cat box again at some point in time. But there's one thing I don't think I would do. I don't think I would die for them. They are not the first thing. Now, my wife is probably different, especially with the dog. But they're not the first thing I'm going to grab if my house is on fire. Right? Am I being mean? I know there's some animal lovers out there, okay? But I'm sorry. I'm not going to grab my cat who just watched me clean out her box and didn't lift a finger to do it, grab her if the house is on fire. I mean, it's just, you don't die for, I mean, if it's your daughter, if it's your spouse, maybe, but you don't die for your animals. But here's Jesus, who says the most radical statement in the Bible. I, as a good shepherd, will lay down my life for the sheep. It shows the Messiah as the Savior of the world, who lovingly seeks out lost, desperate, dumb sheep and decides to save them. What a gracious Savior we have. Oh, I was wandering in my own despair, in my own in my own problems, and I was about to eat myself off a cliff. And Jesus says, no, that stupid one right there, that's the one I want to save. Right? And that's how we are. Paul talks about how we go astray. And that we follow our own desires and the lust of our flesh and all that kind of stuff. And Jesus says, you know what, that dumb one right there, following the lust of his flesh, I'm going to radically and gloriously save him. And I'm going to change his life. And he'll know my voice. I got to hurry.